everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of Mighty Moron with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, we've had a winter break, we've had a January transfer window with a bit of activity in it. We've now got Estudiantes Buenos Aires in the first game back since the winter break in the Primera B Nacional of Argentina. So, let's get into the episode and see how we get on. Welcome back, one and all. So, we've had our winter break. It was refreshing for the guys. We've played some friendly matches, which have been going reasonably well, I would suggest. We got a couple of wins, couple of draws and a loss in there. And overall, I was pretty happy with it. That last result was a real boost to the morale, just going back into the league campaign. As I say, today we got Estudiantes Buenos Aires in the Primera B Nacional Group A match. You can see what we've got left for the rest of the season in that particular competition. We've also got the Copa Argentina 5th round coming up later as well. But we have had a January transfer window. And we did do a little bit of business. We've got one or two people come into the club. I've struggled to get people out, to be honest. There are about 3 or 4 that I would love to. But we have done a little bit of business. So, first up, let's go and have just a look at the transfer history page. Here we go. So, you can see nothing much has happened in terms of getting people out. But there are a couple of people that have come in. And they are on loan primarily, which is fantastic. This is the first one. He's a right-sided midfield player, 20 years old. And I think he's an upgrade on what we've got, playing out wide right. It was an area that I was getting some good performances from, but the likes of Villalba and even Ramirez, who was so good last season, are not so good this season, and we needed that replacement. Now, obviously, you can see his mentals are not quite as good as his other stats, his attributes, should I say, but the physicals and the technicals for the role I want him to play, I think are decent. So he's come into the club. Hasn't really had a chance yet because we haven't played any games since he'd been brought in, so we'll see how he gets on. But from Boca Juniors, good quality player for us to have, I think, on loan for the second half of the season. The next one in is Facundo Colidio, and he is a striking option. Again, I wasn't finding the goal scorers. Now, Galliano has come in and done pretty well for us, so he will maintain a position in and around the squad, either on the bench or in the starting lineup. But cherry on top, specifically, has just not done it this season, and so I was looking for another option. And again, from Inter. We bought this guy from Inter on loan, which is another good prospect. He's valued at 1.7 million, which is far in advance of anybody else in my squad. So you can see that there is some quality in him that we haven't got elsewhere. And I think it's primarily in things like the pace that he's got, the acceleration that he's got. He's got reasonable finishing and composure. So I think overall is a decent option again, and we'll just have to see how he settles into the squad as we move forward. But those are the two primarily that we've bought in. Leandro Bray is a young goalkeeper that we bought into the lower ranks just to bring him through the club a little bit. But hopefully you can see that there's something in there potentially with determination of 17 and some good goalkeeping attributes already. You can see that he's potentially got some future with him. So we'll see how that all works out. But that's basically our transfer business for the January window. We've improved the right side of midfield. We've improved the striking option. I wanted to bring in a goalkeeper, but just couldn't find the one that was any good or any better than what we had, which was really disappointing. But other than that, that's pretty much what I had in mind for doing this transfer window. So we've done that. As I say, getting people out of the club has been tricky. If we go and have a look at our tactics page, you can see that at the bottom here, there are a few that are listed for wanting to go out of the club. Lilo, Olivier and Lavezzi. And none of them have had any interest shown in them whatsoever, which is really disappointing. I kind of hoped at least Olivier might get some, just because he's played a bit for us this season, but absolutely nothing. And I tried as much as I could to get a few of these guys out, but it just didn't work. We've had a new contract for Chalky, our youngster that is one of our Patreons into the game. He's signed a new contract, so we've bedded him into the squad for further seasons, as it were. So that's good, so we can continue to watch his development. But he's doing pretty well for me this season. You can see there's some little bits of fitness issues around just through various knocks and just the fact that we've been through a bit of a gap since the last time we played. But overall, most of them are in reasonable good nick, it would suggest. And the two debutants, Fernandez and Calidio, are in the starting lineup for today, just to see what they can offer us as we progress through the second half of this season. So I haven't used any of my little title pages on this particular episode. It just seemed to flow from one to the other a little bit, so I'm not going to bother implementing them. So it's going to be a little bit more freeform this particular episode. We're already in the tactics page looking at the preview for that. You can see that nothing has changed in terms of the style of play that we've got, although we have moved into a more positive mindset in recent weeks, just to see if we can use the fact that we're currently sitting higher up the table again, like we did last season, to push on a little bit with a slightly more positive outlook in the way that we play. But overall, I'm happy enough with the squad for this season. I think it's reasonably good. There are some gaps, of course there are, and we've probably got 3 or 4 too many players for my liking personally, but I just couldn't get rid of them. So we'll have to figure that as we end the season. There'll be some that come up on free transfers that just leave the club. So we'll leave that for another day. But this is the squad we've got to work with. I'm happy enough with it. We've got Estudiantes BA today in the league. Just to show you the competition page, we sit currently in 7th place, which is brilliant. But we are within touching distance of right the way up to 4th, really, with a good run of games here and there. So we are in the shout, possibly, to get into the sort of top 5 of the division, I would say, but we've got to be consistent to do it, and that starts today. So we are away from home. This side beat us in the first game of the season, if you remember, at home, so maybe there's some revenge we can get there. But today's team is going to be Galvin in goal with Gomez and Dordoni in central defence. Brogy at right back. Ochoa, the new guy also that we bought earlier in the season and hasn't been able to make a debut for us. Ochoa at left back. Federico, Chalky and Goodboy in central midfield with the Angel and Fernandez supporting Calidio up front with a bench of Corzo, Sanchez, Gayer, Cranvita, Glaby, Basidas and Galliano. Sometimes these are a bit of a mouthful for me even now. Anyway, that's the team. That's the setup. Let's get into the game and see what happens. So because of what we spoke about already, having seen this side beat us once this season, we've gone with, I know you lot will be keen to avenge what happened in the last game. Go out there and express yourselves. See if we can get a positive performance out of them, even though we're away from home in our all-red strip. Let's see if the new boys can do something. Left fullback is new. Right side of midfield is new. Striker is new. Let's see if they can help us with a positive performance here. But Estudiantes are not going to be an easy opponent at all. And you can see they work down their right-hand side, which is where we got 1 or 2 little gaps because of the asymmetric style of our formation a little bit. But that was a good interception in midfield. And Calidio holds the ball up very nicely, rides a challenge, and then a weak shot or cross or pass through, whatever it was. None of those things worked out, and it goes out for a goal kick very harmlessly. But at least we won the ball in midfield and showed a fighting spirit to get it up to the front guy and then try and move to support him. So that's positive. Corner kick for Estudiantes right the way through. They were very unlucky, really, but we eventually won the ball. And again, Calidio holds the ball up very nicely, waits for a bit of support, drops it back into midfield to get it, or right the way back to Dordoni in defence. So that was good play by Calidio. I've been fairly impressed with him so far. Just need to get him in the box for a shot at goal, really. But there's a header, a looping header from the other new boy, Fernandez, and narrowly over the top and wide as the ball came across to that right-hand side for a looping header back at the goalkeeper. So we're having 1 or 2 chances, nothing on target particularly yet, and Estudiantes have had fairly plenty of the ball to cause us a few issues. And here they go again down the right side of the box, the cross in, and they should have done a lot better with that. header in from that far post, and it rebounds off the woodwork an inch lower, and it would have gone in, and I would have thought the goalkeeper was nowhere. The corner comes in, and again it goes over the top for them. So they're putting on a little bit of pressure, but we are holding out just about. We've had the same amount of shots as Estudiante have, but we haven't managed to put as many on target up until this point. But there's a couple just gone in there to register on target, so that's positive. As we close out the first half, I think we are a little bit fortunate just to be even at the moment, but I will happily take it through till half time. There you go. And we've had a couple of bookings, no goals to speak of. The percentage of play, 66% of the percentage for them is a little bit higher than anybody would like, really. We've got to find a way that when we do have the ball, we're making more of it. And so let's put a bit of a rocket up them, assertively saying, I'm not happy with your performance. Go out there, do something different. Give me something else. And then as soon as we come out, we're going to go into the shouts and demand more from them. And just see if in the next sort of 5-10 minutes, we can carve out an opportunity or two and really test their goalkeeper. At the moment, though, it's gone quiet again, hasn't it? You can see that the shots at goal have sort of slowed down a little bit. And we've got almost through to the 70th minute with no highlight. Not what we're looking for at all. Let's go in and check what's going on here. And it's the two new boys that are struggling a little bit. So we're going to bring them out, and Glabby will come on at right side of midfield, and Galliano comes on in the striking position just to see if they can settle the game down a little bit. We've got Chalky in midfield, also not having his best day today, really, which is unfortunate. A couple of yellow cards as well, so we've got to make a decision there, and I think we will go for the underperforming Chalky and bring Kranviter in, and just see if that experience in midfield can help us a little bit. Let's see if we can settle down and find one good opportunity. But it's, again, Estudiante on the ball, gone right the way over the top down the right-hand side. But we've kept our shape nicely. And Ochoa has already been booked. And he's got a second yellow card on his debut at left fullback and gets sent off. Oh, it's not what we need at all, is it? What are we going to do here? I think what we're going to do is we're going to move Federico out there and play as a left wing back. I know that's a bit weird, but there's not an awful lot else we can do, really. So we will bring Good Boy into a slightly more defensive role, and we'll take Kranviter and put him into a more supportive role just to drop them back a little bit. But yeah, we're going to put Federico just out there to fill the gap a little bit, if nothing else. But that's going to cause us all sorts of problems. And again, they have a good free kick from that foul, Estudiante, but they didn't quite make the most of it. And that's been a bit of the story of the match, really. They've had their chances. They haven't taken them. Can we make them pay, even though we've gone down to 10 men? Galliano threw on goal, and he does make them pay. What a brilliant through ball that was from Kranviter, I think it was. So two of the substitutes linking up very nicely. The ball was put through very, very well to Galliano, who had so much space. Look, the defence were drawn to the ball, so there was space over the top, and he used it brilliantly, and on his right foot managed to get it past the goalkeeper into the side netting, and we go 1-0 up after 78 minutes, which is brilliant considering everything that we've been through in this match so far. Down in possession, down in terms of our manpower because of the sending off, down in terms of shots created, but so far we've got a 1-0 lead. 86 minutes gone though, it's Estudiante coming back again. Are they going to sucker punch us now? They're not on that occasion. It was a weak shot, and we hold on to our 1-0 lead. Can we hold on to it right the way through, get our revenge from the loss earlier in the season and pick up 3 points? We do. Brilliant performance in a roundabout kind of way. Now, it's not what I wanted in a lot of ways. 37% possession is not good enough at all. You can see we had half the amount of shots that they had in the end, 10 to 20. And we didn't put too many on target either, really. So it wasn't the best performance out there. Let's go check out where it went wrong for us a little bit. The conversations we've had recently about why we were playing down the left-hand side, there's a couple of really good comments in the comment section below videos that have given lots of potential ideas as to why that was. But you can see on this occasion it didn't really happen so much, and through some of the friendly matches in the mid-season break it didn't happen so much either. But look at their heat map compared to ours. all of that percentage of play in the top half of the pitch. They really pinned us in for a long time of the period of this game, and that's a little bit disappointing, really. You can see all of our percentages are low in terms of where our action zones were compared to theirs. We worked primarily down our right hand side, which is what we were looking for, which is great. I'd just like a little bit more from the centre of midfield as well, but you know, at this point, beggars can't be choosers, and we came away with a good win, which is fantastic. So let's go and check out the shots that we didn't put on target, and you can see that they're multiple, really. Some really long ones, but lots in and around the penalty box as well, at the top of the 6-yard box that we couldn't get past the goalkeeper. If you see the saves, these 4 here, all shot directly at the keeper, and he had a good enough game to keep them out. And so again, we've got to find the quality in front of goal. Now, Calidio, I think, is capable of doing that long term if we can get him into the side a little bit and just bed him into these performances. Intercepted passes, not good enough again. There's far too many of these, and they're slightly longer, a lot of them, than I want them to be. We'll have to maybe re-instruct that part of our game a little bit, but far too many intercepted passes, and then the out of play ones as well, booting it clear in these areas you can understand, but up here, what were they thinking? Especially, it seems Good Boy was one of the main culprits in this particular area, putting it through to on runners and stuff, but just didn't get it right at all. We've got to become a little more clinical with our passing. And in the crossing, again, we'll go in and have a look at the intercepted and just see that we're getting the crosses in, which is great. Brogy down that right-hand side, fantastic. We're just not finding the men. And so we're going to have to change something about the way we deliver those sort of balls, I would suggest. And then one last thing is to go and have a look at our shots, and we will take out the Estudiante ones so you can see that we sprayed it around a little bit, but they were all quite central. The shots that we had were all quite central to the goal, and we need to spread it across the goal a little bit and make the goalkeeper do something, and that's why we can't quite claim to have got as many shots on target as we may have liked, but also not as many goals as we'd like. Got to get it away from that goalkeeper. But that's basically going to do it for today. We'll go back in and we'll give the team talk and just say, I think we'll say people have written you off today and you've proved them all wrong. Well done. It was a good result just because we got the points, and that's what matters really. We have to keep building the morale of this team up to get the momentum. And there we go. We move up one place to 6th. And we are hot on the heels of the next couple above us as well. So this is going to be an interesting second half of the season. We've got a lot to fight for here to see if we can maintain this sort of top 6-7 position in the league right the way through to the end of the season. Hope you'll continue to join me for it. Let's go through the news feed and see what's happened. We triumphed despite the odds against us. He's got a ban, which is so unfortunate for his debut, but there we go. A couple of debuts in there, which is good. So we're going to go into the schedule and just check out what we're coming back for next episode. We've probably only got another couple to go in this particular season. What we've probably come back for is let's come back for the All Boys game. Let's do that. Let's do All Boys, then we'll come back in and may play that cup game in the next episode, and then the final episode will be the last game of the season. That's probably where we'll roughly head. So hope you'll join me for that. Thank you for joining me today, though. I really appreciate your company in the journey as we try and get Club Deportivo Moron up into that top division. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode if you can. Helps me get seen by lots of other people. Go and check out my Patreon, my merchandise store. The links of that are in the descriptions below. But until next time, though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.